I can take the dick off the table based upon my standard. You aren't gonna get hold of this dick if you ain't being the woman I need you to be. You need to realize that you need to cook, clean. You gotta understand that you're not the only woman. And if you can accept that, that's fine. That's just the beginning, because you gotta work hard for me, because I work hard for me. So that means if you get with me, it's not gonna be easy street, because I need to be satisfied, because it ain't no happy wife, happy life bullshit. It's happy Steve, happy Steve.
Being strong with self, understanding who you are, is the biggest defense to bitch ass weak men.
And there's no excuses for the men not to be strong. But see, there's so many forces, and then so many men are embracing weakness.
I can't stand weak men. Like I don't like to talk to them. It's hard for me to talk to these losers. I've always been a winner at the winner's table.
You know, I believe it's a sin to impregnate a woman who can't raise a child, you know, or impregnate a woman who's not fit to be a mother. And I think we have a responsibility in what we see today in these weak ass little feminine boys.
I can't tell another man what to do, but I can't dress feminine. I can't wear nail polish. It's just something that I can't do. Why? Because if I'm walking down the street and somebody's having trouble with a flat tire, I want them to feel that they can come to me and ask me, hey man, could you help me out with this? Because those are the type of things that a man will help out with. So I need to look like a man so they can know where to come for help.
Yeah, it is such a thing as toxic masculinity in the minds of bitch ass motherfuckers.
Talk about masculinity, assertiveness, authenticity, transparency. How can a guy who's straight up and honest with what he does be toxic?
If the media can train you to think something bad about it, you hear the word and you want to instantly have a certain reaction. You stop thinking, you start feeling. And when people learn to think and feel and not think through their feelings, that's when they can evaluate a person holistically. And they can say, is this toxic masculinity, or did I just hear something I didn't like? And why did I not like it? And only let me go within myself to see why.
I don't never look at no motherfucker and say, oh, that's a toxic masculine motherfucker. I never ever had, I didn't even know, that was an invented concept from a weak motherfucker that was like, I'm just tired of this motherfucker trying to tell me what to do and bully you over me with this bullshit.
What's going to make you successful is just understanding who you are and getting your mind right and being happy with who you are. That is the thing that's going to really make you successful. Because after you get all the toys, after you get all these things going on, you've had sex with all the women you want to have sex with, you traveled all the places, you're still going to be you, and you're going to always come back to you.
Why do I do this? Why are we even doing this documentary? I want guys to be in the best position possible. There's no way that I'm raising my voice or calling you a bitch ass nigga because I'm trying to hurt your feelings. I'm calling you a bitch ass nigga because you're doing bitch ass nigga shit. And if you continue doing bitch ass nigga shit, you're going to end up in bitch ass nigga situations. You get what I'm saying? So when I call you a bitch ass nigga, trust me, it's because I love you.
Game Kings 2, the definition of man, is out right now. Click the link below or go straight to masculineidentity.com to get your copy today. Still ain't getting women? Really? Come on, son. You need to go to badboymembership.com and step up your game. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game, and I'm telling you that if you really want to attract beautiful women, you need to go to badboymembership.com. This is where you get 45 through 90-minute step-by-step dating advice tutorials every month. Just sign up, follow the advice, and you'll get the women you want. Go to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com. It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game, and I want to tell you about my documentary, Game Kings, the definition of game, starring myself, the Boss Mac Topsoil, Rosebud, Ron Wills, Miles Cunningham, and much more. In this documentary, you're going to learn about confidence, manhood, attracting women, and the definition of the game. To get this documentary, go to MrLocario.com.
Some people think you need a sports car to get what you want. Some people think you need $1 million. Some people think you need looks, status. The only thing you need is what they can't get unless they come straight to you. And that's your identity. Join the Masculine Identity membership today. MasculineIdentityMembership.com. Masculine Identity Soap. This luxurious, quality, high lather, high moisturizing, all natural bar soap has been handcrafted with care and consistency to provide a quality cleansing experience for self-care, focus, and productivity. Specially formulated for cold showers. Stay clean, gentlemen. Masculine Identity Soap.
Click the links below to get private one-on-one coaching sessions with Mr. Locario or Miles Cunningham to step up your game. These coaching sessions are designed to help you with your specific needs in the dating game. So make sure you click the links below right now so that you can step up your game today. Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the motherfucking dating game. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the building. What's good? Appreciate everybody tuning in. Shout out to my lady April MC in the building. What's going on? Shout out to Nice Glass, Monogamous Player, Unique 79 in the building. What's going on? What's going on? Shout out to Have No Limits, Frankie Shy, Phoenix Smiles in the building. June Sports is going on. Duke Alex is in the building. Who else we got up in here? Captain Creator was popping with you. Mike Chain, Still the King. Joe Blast in the motherfucking building. What's going on? What's going on? Dr. Steele, Ludway was good. D1 Tactical was popping with you. What's going on? Who else we got up in here? Money Mitch is in the building. Octuro, my dude Cambo 4284 is in the building. What's going on with your man? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Aussie is up in here. Jimmy's up in here. Blastomatic, Lewis. We got everybody up in here, man. But today, guys, we're going to be talking about how the manosphere is wrong, okay, about dating younger women. Okay? We gonna get into this. Shout out to my dude YND in the building. Shout out to YND. Shout out to you. Fit and Life Entertainment is in the building. Linwood, what's going on? So we about to get into this today. So let's just jump right into this. So for those who don't know, right, because, you know, this has been all over the internet for the past few days or whatever, is, you know, Shannon Sharpe got himself into a situation where, you know, he's fucking with this OnlyFans chick. He was out here tricking. And now she, you know, is accusing him of rape and all this other stuff. And she was trying to get 50 million. I think now he's trying to settle for $10 million and all this other stuff, right? And I'm going to show the clip of Shannon Sharpe explaining the situation. We're going to break that down. But this is more about the idea of, you know, older guys, right, trying to date younger women, right? And what you guys have to understand is that the manosphere, right? They like to create this sort of you know, fantasy that, you know, they're going to just be chilling. They're going to become this high value man. They're going to get their money up. They're going to do all these things. And then these women are magically going to want to fuck with them. These 19-year-old, 20-year-olds magically want to fuck with them. Now, this is what I want to get clear before I really get into this and really start with this, right? What I'm saying is this. I want to be very clear on what I'm talking about, right? See, the manosphere is talking about, you know, actually dating these women, wifing these women up, stuff like that, you know, all that other craziness, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with having sex with a young woman of age, Nothing wrong with that. So if you want to hook up with a young woman, cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. The problem is that you have guys who are trying to date these women, and you have guys who are trying to hook up with these women, and they have no fucking game. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're trying to hook up with young girls, right, and you have no game, oh, you're in a world of trouble. And we're going to break that down, right? And on top of that, if you're actually trying to date younger women, you're a fucking idiot. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying right now, you're fucking insane, right? So if you're an older guy and you're trying to date younger women, so if you're like Shannon Sharpe's age, you're 50 something, and you're really trying to date 19, 20-year-olds, you're ridiculous. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you're trying to have sex with 19, 20-year-olds, hey, do what you want to do. That's on you, right? But the thing is that you need to make sure that you know how to do this. Now, let me say this before I get into the video, is if a woman is not fucking you because she desires you, right, then you're in a world of trouble. So the only reason you should be fucking a 19, 20-year-old as a 50-year-old dude is that 19, 20-year-old needs to actually want your dick. You understand what I'm saying? She needs to want your dick. So that means that there shouldn't be any money involved. There shouldn't be any tricking involved. There shouldn't be any sugar daddy shit involved, right? She should actually want your dick. She should actually desire you sexually, right? And so what I'm trying to tell you guys is that if you do not have game, you're not going to be the 40, 50-year-old guy dating 19, 20-year-olds who actually desire your dick. They're only going to be fucking with you because you're providing them the money. You understand what I'm saying? And so what happens is that you have a lot of guys out there who they think that having the money means that the woman actually likes them. And this is the problem with guys trying to attract women through money and status and clout and all that other stupid shit. Because when you're trying to attract a woman with money and status and clout, what you're attracting women who don't really like you. They're attracted to the image. They're attracted to the money. And so because they're attracted to the image and attracted to the money, they don't give a fuck about you. See, me and Miles did a show about this earlier on the Bad Boy Show, right? I'm going to put that up later. But basically what I was saying on the Bad Boy Show is this, is that it's very dangerous to deal with a woman, right, of any age, but especially a younger chick when you're an older guy. It's dangerous to deal with a woman who is only dealing with you or mainly dealing with you because of you having money. So someone like Shannon Sharpe, the issue he had was he was dealing with this younger chick. She didn't really like him. She liked the fact that she can get to his money, right? And so what happens is that when a woman doesn't really like you, right, that's dangerous because this is, let me tell you guys a little secret. See, when a chick doesn't really like you, she doesn't care what happens to you. She doesn't really care about your life, right? So you're just something for her to use. See, in the back of most women's minds, in the first place, the fact that you're a man, right? Women generally, follow what I'm saying, women generally feel some type of way about you being a man in the first place. Meaning, well, you're the guy, you're the man, so you make more money than me. You're more dominant than me. I have to listen to what you say, so fuck you. That's basically that's where a lot of resistance comes in when women are dealing with you. It's you're a man, so I don't give a fuck about you. Like, deal with it, you man, right? That's going on in women's minds in general, right? So now, imagine, and this is when women actually like you. So imagine when a woman doesn't really like you. All that shit's going on in her head, and on top of that, she don't really like you. So imagine, that's basically her not liking you twice. So you're a man, strike one, and two, I don't really like you like that, strike two. So meaning that the fact that you have to give her money means that she don't like you like that. Because if she liked you like that, if she really liked you, right, you wouldn't have to give her any money. But what happened is that the chicks that are dealing with these dudes, unfortunately, what happens is that the woman doesn't really like the motherfucker. So she's like, I'll take him for his money. And because I don't like him, I don't care what happens to him. See, think about it this way, guys. Think about it this way. You're saying that the lines is busy. I don't know why the lines is busy. Let me try to redo the Skype. But think about it this way. Think about when you guys, right? Think about when you guys don't really like a woman, but you just want to use her for her whole, right? You want to use her for her vagina and her mouth and probably her asshole, depending on how you like to fuck, right? But you don't really like her. You don't care about her life. You just want to use her to fuck, right? Now, what happens sometimes? Sometimes guys will lie to women to get to use them for sex. Now, what's the worst that could happen when you're using a woman for sex and lying to her to get the sex, right? The worst that could happen is that you can get her all riled up and she starts to like you. You use her, you discard her, and then her feelings get hurt. She's heartbroken. That's the worst that could happen based on you using her, right? So now, hold on, I'm gonna take a call in a second. So now, what happens is this. When a woman uses you, in order for her to get to the goal of what she wants, that means she has to throw you under the bus, right? So what does that mean? If the woman doesn't really like you and she's just using you for your money, and she comes into a person like Shannon Sharpe and he leads with his wallet, she's getting money from him. She says, wait a second, you have millions of dollars. How do I use you to get to the millions? I don't know. Let me say that you did something to me. Now, who the fuck knows what's really going on? I'm just saying what we're seeing right now. Let me say that you did something to me so I can get the rest of the money. So the same way where you'll use a girl and lie to her just to get her box and she'll get her heart broken, that's the worst that'll happen. When a woman uses a man she doesn't like for the money, for the clout or whatever, and she wants to get more, she will say certain things and do certain things that could ruin your life. That's the worst that can happen, is that it can ruin your life. So when you fucking youngins, right? When you fucking youngins, I should say youngins, when you fucking older dudes, right, are trying to get with these women who don't like you, this is the type of shit that could happen. But let's take some calls, because I know y'all trying to call up. Let's take some calls and then we're gonna get to the video. I think 210 is trying to call up, and 617, or 612. All right, so let's go to 612 first, and then we're gonna go to 210 second. So 612, what's poppin'? Who this?
Hey, yeah, Tim here. I donated to the Venmo.
All right, I got you. So what's going on, fam?
Yeah, so I had a situation last night. I was out on a date with a chick. And then, so actually it was going pretty well. You know, she was being receptive, cooperative, I told her to come closer. She did that. We were making out and shit. Mm-hmm. But then what ended up happening is she asked me, like, so what are you looking for? Mm. And so that, I feel like that kind of derailed the situation a little bit. I mean, I told her, hey, basically like, for me, it's person dependent. I mean, you can't really like force, any outcomes. So, it's a little too early to be talking about that, but I guess just, then we kind of got further in the date, and then she was like, okay, yeah, let's see each other again. And then I told her, hey, basically, yeah, you need to come over and talk next time. And her face actually was hilarious. Like the shock in her face. I don't think she's ever heard anyone say that directly to her. That's the vibe I got. But just back to the question, just wondering what should I say in that situation? Like, what are you looking for? Because I felt like the dynamic kind of changed after that.
Well, were you was trying to fuck, right?
Yeah, I was trying to fuck. Yeah.
Okay, so why didn't you tell her that when she said, "What are you looking for?"
That's a great point.
You
That's
see what I'm
great.
saying?
Because then I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that if you're trying to fuck and she's like, what are you looking for? I'm looking for your ass to be up in the air tonight. You feel what I'm saying? That's what you should right. So because what you did was is that you was beating around the bush, and then after the fact you were acting like you wanted to make some shit pop off. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah. Fuck. Okay.
So
that makes sense. No, that
right. So that's what I'm saying. So this is what I'm saying. When you're dealing with women, right? Like, you have to be one way. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the thing. When you're looking for sneakers, you go to Foot Locker, you go into the sneaker store, you're like, I know this place has sneakers, and I'm gonna go here, get what I want, and that's what it is, right? Now, what happens is that you it's a straight line to that, right? You know what you're getting by being there. So when you're dealing with a woman, you have to be one way the whole time so she understands what she's getting by being here. So if she don't want to get that, then she can fall back from that situation and you understand whether or not she wants to be there doing what you want to do. But if you're like, she's like, oh, what are you looking for? And you're like, well, I'm not really, we'll see. I don't, right? You're basically prolonging the situation. And on top of that, what you do is that you give her more time to sink into her own, right? Understanding of what she thinks the situation is going to be, right? So you have to basically let her know what the situation is going to be as soon as possible through your words and actions so that she can make a decision now so y'all don't get your time wasted. You see what I'm saying?
Makes sense. Yeah, allows her more time to bullshit around.
Right.
And then on top of that, I get what you're saying about the Jordan thing. It's like, hey, I come in for Jordans, but then they say, oh, well, we might sell Jordans, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then after the fact, then they're like, oh, no, we do sell Jordans. But I'm like, but now I'm looking at them like I'm a little skeptical. Like, what the fuck? What do I say that initially? Okay, I get, that explanation breaks it down well for me. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. All right, man. Well, I appreciate the call, fam. All right. So let's go to, I think it's K Zaga. What's going on, fam?
Yeah. Check Miles' joint. I sent it to him.
All right, that's what's up.
So this is one of the mistakes that the Manosphere makes when it comes to older men and younger women. And this is something that I saw when I was in my 20s and niggas was fucking with teenage girls.
Right.
For whatever reason, these so-called grown men have it fixed in their head that because they're older and more experienced, that they can mold these younger women.
Right.
That's what they think. And what they don't realize is a 20-year-old chick is is smarter than a 50-year-old nigga with no game.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And what a lot of guys don't understand is these women can run circles around y'all. Like these young chicks in their 20s, they can run circles around you older niggas.
Right.
Because what happens, L, is that a lot of these guys who got money, they weren't getting pussy until they got the money. Right? So they don't have any real skills and game and all that to navigate dealing with women on their terms.
Right.
Because they've never dealt with women. They've always been invisible to bitches. But now that they got money, now bitches see them and these niggas is excited.
Right.
So what they think, and this is the mistake that guys make with money. They think money equals power.
Right.
No. Money is only power in the hands of a man that had power before he got it.
Real shit.
So if you are a fool and you get money, you're just a fool with money.
Exactly.
And because you don't have any game, you don't understand the influence and the power of how to actually use money. So what happens to these lame niggas, they think because they got money and they saw Scarface and they heard Al Pacino talk about get the money, then get the bitches and the power, they think that shit is real.
Right.
Nigga, it's a movie. Right? So what they fail to understand is that when you are using money to try and get women, you're already in a powerless position.
Right.
You're already working from a deficit because you had to acquire something to get the bitch.
Exactly.
All she had to do was wake up and leave her house.
Exactly.
So, you can't mold. Here's the thing, and I want guys to understand, just because you're older, you have money and more experience, a woman still has to respect you. Your age, your experience, your money means nothing when a woman looks at you and she says, I don't want his dick. He's a buster. And let me just say this real quick, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to close out with this. And I want guys to understand something. And this is something that guys don't think about. A lot of guys don't understand how offensive it is to women when you try and use your money to buy them.
Right.
Okay. They don't understand that some women, now, what most women will do, they'll just leave you alone because they're like, you're trying to buy my pussy. I'm not a whore, nigga. Right. So they'll leave you alone. Other chicks will be like, oh, is that the way you want to play it? Oh, is that what you want to do? All right, bet. I got you. So I'm going to make you think you running shit. And all I got to do is fuck you, suck you a little bit. And Lord forbid I let you hit it raw, nigga. I know I got you then. Right. And before you know it, you're going to be running behind me, begging for this pussy because I'm a young tender with a nice body and you an old nigga with some money.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Real talk. Real talk, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Peace.
All right, brother Mahala. Yeah, man. I'm telling you guys got to understand that, again, for all you Manosphere guys, remember, a woman, a younger woman, you older guys out there, right? Most of these younger women, they're fucking with you because you're older and you have money. They are not sexually attracted to you. See, if you have game and you're an older man, you can be sexually attractive to younger women and all they want is your dick. You understand what I'm saying? They don't want your money. But the problem is that a lot of these guys on the internet who's like, oh, I need to get me a younger chick and these other women hit the wall and all this other stuff. Understand that most of these women that are younger that fuck with you, they're fucking with you because you have money, not because they like you. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why you're going to get into these situations like Shannon Sharpe. Now, let me bring up this video of Shannon Sharpe where he was explaining himself. I think this is and it's only like a minute long, but I'm going to show you the bullshit that he did. And you're going to see how he fucked up in this situation. And I'm going to point it out. So I'm going to point out, right, how you can tell and see that Shannon Sharpe doesn't have any fucking game. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I want you to watch what he's saying, and I'm going to break down and show you, because he didn't have game, why he's in the situation he's in right now. You feel what I'm saying? But let's start this and let's get this cracking, right? And mind you, this is like a minute and 10-second video, so it's not even that long. But watch, I'm gonna show you where he fucked up.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right.
Now, first of all, he's talking about it's a shakedown, right? So the only reason this woman and this situation is a shakedown is because he made wrong moves. You understand? There can be no shakedown if you actually have game. You understand? But let's continue. Let's check this out.
This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself.
Now, he said that there's a videotape that should be 10 minutes long, but they put out like 30 seconds or whatever to make him look bad. And he's like, well, put out the whole thing because, I don't have it. If I did, I'd put it out now. Why doesn't Shannon Sharpe have the video? I'll tell you why. He doesn't have the video because the woman has the video. Now, how the fuck does the woman have the video? See, when you have game, right? Everything that's happening when it comes to you and a woman, right? You are orchestrating and you are controlling the dynamic of the situation. This means he didn't have control of the situation. And you're going to find out soon. Check out what he's about to say.
You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation. And now
Y'all probably missed that. I want to rewind it just a smidgen so you guys could catch it.
The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup.
So he said the encounter took place at her invitation. What do I tell you guys about following women? You see what I'm saying? See, niggas always say, oh, this game shit is stupid. This game shit is stupid. Nigga, you're not supposed to follow women. Women are supposed to follow you. So if you did this on her invitation, that means that she invited you, you followed her, and she set the whole shit up. You see what I'm saying? So listen, you can't be sorry for Shannon Sharpe. You can't listen, guys. Imagine this is a 50-something-year-old man getting set up by a 19, 20-year-old. Really? But see, this is what happens when you don't have game. And see, this is why he doesn't have the fucking footage, because she has the footage. Because she invited him, he followed her, he went to where she was, she set the situation up so she can film it, so she can have these things going on.
Coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do.
All right. So that's pretty much it. But see, he fucked up by following her, having her film some shit. You understand what I'm saying? And now he's in the situation, in the position he's in, because he doesn't know how to lead. You understand? See, all you older dudes who are trying to fuck with younger women, understand that most of these younger women are not sexually attracted to you. You are not sexually attractive unless you have game. You understand? If you don't have game, you are a mark. You understand what I'm saying? He's like, didn't he just go through a couple of months ago where a sex audio got released? These grown men don't learn their lesson. That's the epitome. Exactly. Exactly. And see, understand this. He was already tricking, giving her money, or they was going back and forth, and they, allegedly had some like role playing and all this other stupid shit, right? And again, because he doesn't have game, he doesn't realize that you're not supposed to be going and doing all this extra shit with a random chick you just fucking met. On top of that, she's OnlyFans chick. Ain't nothing wrong with a chick doing OnlyFans. But the fact is that he knew what type of chick this was. He led with the wallet, and now she's coming for more money. You understand what I'm saying? It's coming for more money. So I don't really feel bad for him. You understand what I'm saying? I don't. Because this is the type of shit that's going to happen to you guys when you don't have game. You're probably like, Locario, I'm not as rich as Shannon Sharpe. I don't have anything to worry about. No, nigga, you don't have to be as rich as Shannon Sharpe. You understand what I'm saying? You could be a guy who a woman is just using for whatever money you have, for whatever resources you have, and she doesn't actually like you. So she will throw you under the bus to get more. But guys, you know what? Fuck what I'm saying. Fuck what I'm saying. Because remember, she's a baddie. So it doesn't matter. She's so hot. She's so sexy that none of this matters, right? Because it's all about getting the baddies, correct? That's what it's about. You understand what I'm saying? It's about getting the young baddies, because, these other women, they hit the wall and all that other shit. So, as an older man, because, this is what the Manosphere tells you guys. The Manosphere tells you guys, you know what? Once you get older, you're going to be more attractive. Once you get your money up, you get older, things are going to work out for you. Let's go to 832. 832, what's popping? Who this?
Nah, fuck that Locario. It's about them baddies, man. Fuck all that, man. Fuck that shit, man.
This nigga.
Nah, this is Jay.
What's
this
going
is
on?
Jay from Houston calling in, man. I sent 10 to Miles.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. So what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah. No, I'm chilling, man. Hey, man, I like that part where you were saying when the women had the mindset of, I'm better than men. Shit, if they can do it, we can do it better. And she don't like you? Oh, man, that shit was like a home run in my head. I say, oh, that nigga's spitting right there. That was some dope shit.
Yeah,
that was dope shit.
That's a fact. Because listen, when a chick doesn't really fuck with you like that, she doesn't care about your life. She doesn't care about your well-being, and she's not thinking about the after effects of what could happen. You see what I'm saying? So this is why. So this was, for example, this is why you guys shouldn't be out there like bragging about shit you did with women and trying to show all these receipts and do all this other stuff. Because if you're in a situation where, let's say, for example, you go to college, you go to school or some shit, or in your neighborhood or whatever, and you tell people, yo, yeah, fuck that girl over there, blah, 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 right? If she gets embarrassed, right, what could happen is that she will say you did something to her to save herself from the embarrassment. You see what I'm saying? And then now the guy is in a world of trouble because he was trying to brag and do all this other goofy shit, right? So a woman is never above throwing you under the bus to save her reputation and save herself. Now, again, if something fucked up happened to a woman, that's a different story. I'm talking about, like, just in general, a lot of guys are dealing with women who don't respect them and don't give a shit. And the woman is just there to get money, time, attention, whatever it is. But what happens is that a guy will think he's winning because he's fucking with this girl, but the woman doesn't actually like him or respect him. And when a woman doesn't like or respect you, she doesn't care what happens to you. You see what I'm saying? And this is where all the crazy shit happens. You know what I mean?
No, that's real shit, man. I ain't really got much to say on that. That shit right there was like fireworks, because we be talking about how sometimes even guys get positioned as cops, and they was never they never felt like they had authority and power. Now all of a sudden they got that badge. Now they feel empowered, and sometimes even women, they get those jobs where they managers and they overlooking shit, other black people, Hispanics. Now they feel like they so empowered, and they just like, I guess a lot of people be on some weird shit, but as far as the context of women not liking a man for being a man because they feel like, he's, I'm in competition with him and I don't like him.
Right.
Oh man, you walking up a fucked up ass street, man. Hey man, you spitting fire. I had to fuck with that. So 5 was for me talking. If anybody want to call in for $5, there you go, man. Take this one, get it.
All right, brother. Appreciate the call, fam. All right.
All right.
So let's go to 202. What's popping? Who this?
Hey, this is Mike. This is DC and 36.
All right. Appreciate the donation. I got you. What's going on?
Okay. Yeah, so I just had a quick question. Basically, I've pretty much stopped dating for a while, but I got back on the dating apps like in the last 3 weeks or whatever. And for me, my experience on the dating apps was like, I get plenty of, like, a healthy amount of matches, girls I'm attracted to, etc. What I noticed is that, like, I kind of have a script where I'll say the same thing or whatever, and then a certain percentage of girls, like, they'll want to meet up or whatever. And what I notice is the girls that I meet up with that don't flake, they're, let's say, in my opinion, less attractive. And then, like, the girls that are more attractive that I try to use the same script on, it's like they'll agree to a date, but then they flake or whatever. But my question to you is basically, like, I just got flaked on earlier, and it was a girl that I was, like, interested in, and I just basically, she flaked, and then she was like, oh, I have I don't know, like, I have a meeting. I just set up a meeting today or something, and I just, like, charged her. I was just like, she's like, can we reschedule? And I said, no, we can't reschedule. I'm sorry about that. So my question to you is, should I have some sort of, like, a plan, like a better plan than just charging girls if I'm interested in them enough, at least based on their profile? Like, I'm like, oh, like, this girl, I'm really attracted to her based on her profile. And, I'm looking for, if I do meet someone on a dating app, I'm looking for, like, a long-term relationship. So should I have more patience, and should I have some sort of, like, I don't know, like, a line to say to her? Like, for example, I'm thinking about something like, oh, it's okay, we can reschedule, but I typically don't reschedule. If you get the first round, then I'll show up. Something like that. Some sort of silly thing like that. But like, should I charge them or should I what?
No. So this is the problem. Okay, let me ask you before I go into it. Let me ask you this: how long have you been on the dating apps?
In general, or this last this?
Yeah, in general. Like, when did you start? When did you start? Using dating apps.
Oh, I've been using dating apps for a while. Like probably a decade.
A decade. Okay,
Like
so within a decade, you haven't met not one woman that you thought was hot and went on a date with her.
Oh no! Oh well, yeah. I've been out with girls who I found attractive. Yeah.
Okay, so then what? So then what's the problem then? Like, you've done it, so what's the issue?
No, well, I mean, it's like I want to increase the amount of dates. Like, I want to decrease the flake rate, and I also want to I want to find someone that I'm really excited about. At the moment, the girls that I'm going on dates with, it's kind of hit or miss. Like, maybe I'll go out with someone attractive, but like, I want to decrease the flake rate, basically.
So let me ask you. So how many women would you say roughly that you went out with that you would think are like the more attractive women that you want to fuck with? Like, out of the whole 10 years you've been using these apps.
Man, I've honestly only been on, from the dating apps, I've probably only been on like total 20 dates, probably.
20 dates in 10 years?
20 first dates, yeah.
And how often are you using this? They're using the apps.
I stopped using it for a long periods of time.
Okay, so see that?
Yeah.
Okay, see. Okay, see, this is the problem. Your problem is that you are not consistent in putting in enough work. Therefore, you're not getting the result you want. You see what I'm saying? So this is the thing. You're okay. So you're not getting the hot women, not because you can't get the hot women. You're just not putting in enough work to get the hot women. You understand? That's like if I was like like I said to you, hey bro, I wanna get like, a 6-pack, my arms are kind of decent and shit, but I want to get a 6-pack. And you say, well, do you go to the gym? Yeah, I've been going to the gym for 10 years. Really? Well, how often do you go to the gym? Oh, I don't, I haven't, it's times where I just never really go, and I be eating cheeseburger. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, the thing you want, you're not doing the thing you need to do to get the thing you want. You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. So you're basically saying the numbers have to go up.
Right.
The numbers got to go up. Basically, that's what you're saying, right? Like, you have to have more numbers.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't bother you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And also you need more so you can get to more women. You see what I'm saying? Because let me ask you this. So how often do you use the dating apps right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
I use it the last couple of weeks. I've been swiping like every day. Sometimes I'll like put it on pause, but pretty much every day. Yeah, the last 2 weeks.
Every day for how long?
I'll usually like swipe maybe 45 minutes a day.
Okay, and how many apps are you using?
I'm just using Hinge right now.
That's it? So just one app?
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm saying. So you say you just started swiping 45 minutes only on Hinge. This is what you really should be doing, right? You should be, okay, this is what you do. And you don't have to write it down. Just, rewind this later. You should be down. You should have Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, Match, Happening, Coffee Meets Bagel. That's already 8 apps that I already told you.
I've done that in the past. And it kind of burnt me out, honestly. Like, I was just like,
but you haven't done it in the past. Because you said that there was a long time that you didn't do shit. And you said in 10 years, you only went out with 20 women. So that already shows me you ain't doing it. So what I'm saying is you need to be on the apps, swiping an hour a day, 7 days a week. Are you doing anything like that? Like, how long have you been doing that? 7 days a week, an hour on multiple apps? Just say never.
Well, I haven't done that recently. No, I haven't done that recently. I did go through a time where I was like on a 4 or 5 apps, and I was trying to run the numbers and stuff like that.
Right, but every day.
I was maybe like I was.
Why
running
the
the
fuck
numbers
you
and not-
lie? Come on, fam. It's stop every day.
I was running.
Why you gotta come on? Go. Listen,
for a short period of time. Yeah, for a short period of time.
Right,
not
that's
for an
what
extended period.
Right, that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. If you said you was using apps for 10 years, that would mean, okay, this is what I want you to do, right? So it's April 2025, right? So from April 2025 to April 2035, what I want you to do is you need to swipe 7 days a week, right? An hour a day, all the time for the next 10 years. That's what you need to do. You see what I'm saying? Then you won't be complaining about, oh, she flaked and oh, I can't. No, every day, 7 days a week, right? 7 days a week, every day, an hour a day. You see what I'm saying? For the next 10 years, right? Then everything that you want is going to happen. It's really that simple. You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
Right. So all I'm saying is you're not putting in enough work to even see or get the result you want. Now, that's your first issue. Now, the second issue is this. This is even worse. The second issue is that people said I'm giving away too much game. The second issue is that you put hot women on a pedestal, because what you were essentially about to do or say was, let me bend over backwards and accommodate the woman because I think she's hot. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's going to make it to where you're going to have a harder time attracting them. You understand what I'm saying? Because what makes you attractive to women in general, not even just hot women, but women in general, is the fact that they have to lean into you. So whoever's leaning into the other person, whoever's the leaner is the one who's chasing. Whoever's the leaner is the one who is the less attractive one. You understand? So right now you're leaning into the woman. You feel what I'm saying?
For this particular woman, I actually offered, because she lives a little bit away, I actually offered to come out to meet her.
Oh my God.
That actually made her accept me more in ways.
Wait, you offered to see her. What happened?
So I actually I usually invite them to like usually when I try to set up a date, I'll invite them to come towards me. But with her, I offered to go towards her, meet up near where she lived. And I actually think in a way, it actually made her more flaky. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, of course.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, of course. Because the thing is that you're trying to accommodate her. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is the woman, right, is supposed to see you, right, as the come up, see you as, oh, I want to get with him. See, you're trying to get with her. You need to get women to want to get with you, right? And so your action, and see, this is what I'm saying. Everything you do is going to tell the story. So if you're willing to come to see her, then she's looking at you like, well, he must not be that valuable. You understand? He must not be that awesome because he's coming to see me. See, she wants to come to see you. See, women are excited when think about this, right? You see how you're like, you have this feeling of desire for a really hot woman to the point where you will sort of bend over backwards to go meet halfway or go to where she's at because you think she's that hot, right? There's you're like, damn, she's bad. I want to make some happen. You know that feeling where you're like, fuck, let me see how I can make this easier so I can get to her, right? You think all of that shit. That's what women want to think when they're dealing with you. And the reason why women want to think that when they deal with you, why? Is because most guys, when they deal with women, are acting just like you, being super accommodating, bending over backwards, putting her on a pedestal, kissing her ass, right? So she's used to that treatment, and that treatment is unattractive. So a woman wants to be worried about, oh, is this guy going to call me back or not? Does he care? Does he like me? Does he love me? You understand? Oh, how come he won't return my call? Right? You don't ever listen. When's the last time you heard a woman say, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about this guy. He's so nice. Oh my God, I can't stop thinking about him. You know, he bought me flowers.
I wasn't trying to be a nice guy. I wasn't trying to be a nice guy. I was thinking about it more like a job interview where you're really excited, so you do more or whatever. I know it's not the same thing, but I'm just saying, yeah, it's like I'm like applying for a job. I'm gonna get interviewed. I'm gonna do more. But yeah, you're right.
But see, that's what I'm call it. That's what I'm saying. You see, so you see what your mentality is. You said you're applying for the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you're trying to get hired. You're supposed to be the boss doing the hiring. Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying? You see where your mindset is? Your mindset is you're trying to get hired by her. You're supposed to be the boss hiring her into your company. So when a potential employee, right, is coming for an interview to work at a company, does the company go to them or do they go to the company?
They go to the company.
Right. So in this scenario, when you was going to meet that woman somewhere, who was the potential employee and who was the boss?
She was the boss.
Exactly. Thank you. There you go. That's what I'm saying. Remember, always remember this. Always remember this. In any situation or dynamic, somebody's leading, somebody's following. Somebody's dominant, someone's submissive. You understand what I'm saying? So any situation you're dealing with, ask yourself, am I being submissive to her or is she being submissive to me? You see what I'm saying? And so you got to get out of that mindset of being submissive to the woman, because your whole mindset was, you remember when you first called up, you was like, Locario, you know, if I'm getting flaked on by these hot girls, maybe is there something I should say differently, which is accommodating to her? Is there something that I should do different? Is you trying to submit to her? Is there something that I could say? Should I tell her if she flakes, then we could do this and do that? That's you submitting to her. You understand? That's you going with her program, right? The woman has to go with your program. And part of that is you have to get to the point where you're not simping, right, to try to be with some woman. You have to charge her to the game, treat all of the women the same. I don't care how she looks. If she flakes, she flakes. Who gives a fuck? Move on, right? But don't switch up your shit to try to get a woman who's flaking or who's giving you resistance to fuck with you. You see what I'm saying? Because that's you submitting to the woman. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. All right, man. Well, appreciate the call, fam. I'm all at you, man. All right. And shout out to Miles in the building. Shout out to Miles in the building. Guys, you want to call up 646-481-3901. 646-481-3901 is the number to call up. If you have a question, put a Q in the chat. So this question said, what's your take on men that want to get younger women because it would be easier to have lots of kids, but they also want to wait until they can financially support a large family? Well, this is the thing. If you are a grown-ass man in your late 40s, early 50s, right? And you, first of all, at this point, if you haven't had kids or a wife and all that other shit before, right? Then, hey, it is what it is. Now, if you're 50 something and you're like, damn, I want to have kids, cool, right? But you can still get a chick who's 28, 29, 30, and those chicks will still have kids with you, right? An 18, 19-year-old and you want to have kids? Are you serious? An 18, 19-year-old is not trying to be in a fucking long-term relationship with you. See, this is what you guys have to understand. 18 and 19-year-olds are trying to fuck. They're trying to party. You understand? And a lot of you niggas don't got the type of game, you know what I'm saying, that a woman would want to stay with you when she's that young. And check this out. If you did have that type of game, right, then you would have probably had an 18, 19-year-old when you was 18 or 19. You understand what I'm saying? If you had that type of game, you would have been married and had a kid at 24 when you was 24. Right? Right. Okay, so let's go to 412. 412, what's poppin'? Who this?
Hey, what's going on, Locario? This is AT calling, man.
AT, what's good, fam?
All right, good. You know, I definitely donated, of course.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up.
So what's going on?
Saw the topic and then, kind of speaking to what the last caller was talking about. I've just hit the 10-year mark where I've been divorced and, been doing the dating apps and stuff. As you know, I've called you several times. And I know it's about being on several apps where I've called you with statistics I've kept for the last 5 years, where I've talked to, probably a couple thousand women, been on hundreds of dates. And I know it takes, like you said, a numbers game and dedicating time to it like it's a second job.
Right.
So if he wants results, that's what he needs to do.
Real talk. That's the thing. Like, I remember you said you called in and talked about that. And the problem is that you have a lot of guys out here who they want maximum results with minimal effort. That's not how the game works. You see what I'm saying? Because what guys need to do is they need to put themselves in position to put in the work to see the results and how things will go so that they know what they need to do to get repeat results. This is why, for example, when you guys go to badboymembership.com, I have this program called Understanding Patterns, how to predict your outcomes with women. And just like what you were saying, AT, is that when you understand the patterns of saying, okay, well, I talk to this amount of women, I get this amount of feedback back in the situations. But guys are not going to get that feedback unless they actually put in the work to see what's going on. But the problem is that most guys don't want to actually put in the work. They just want certain things to happen. And this is what also messes up the situation. Because they're not putting in enough work, they start to sort of like compromise in these situations to get what they want to happen. So just like the last caller, he's like, well, let me see if I can tell this girl, let's meet up again, or say something different. Or basically he's saying, let me see if I can change myself in order to make something happen with this woman, instead of him staying who he is and then finding the women who gravitate to who he is. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. So I had a question about, I called in about the situation where I said, I know I messed up because I turned it into more like a friends with benefits. And then she's talking about all these feelings because we've done stuff, sleep over and all that. So it's getting to the point where she said, I love you, last week, and wants more. I don't want more. So I'm like, I was at that point where you talk about where, maybe I have to get out of this because I messed up.
So you said that this is a woman that, how long have you been hooking up with her for?
For a year.
For a year? Okay. How often do you see her?
I was seeing her like at least once a week, but sometimes I was staying over for weekends or vice versa. That's where I know I messed up.
Oh yeah. Nah, see, this is the thing. And so she's trying to be in a relationship with you and she want to be your girl and all that other shit?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the thing. So see, this is why, the problem is that you did way too much, right? So now what you would need to do is that you would need to let her know, like, hey, look, I don't want to do this, but your actions have to match up with that too. So you have to start, pulling back. You understand? So now it shouldn't be like you're seeing her every week. It should be maybe once every 2 weeks. You understand what I'm saying? And no spending the night and no cuddling. So the thing is that if you say, I don't want to be your man, but I want us to keep fucking and just keep it casual, then you have to match that up with your actions.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So you have to fall back and you have to let her know this is what it is and then match that back with your actions. But the thing is, she might not, just fall back and not want to fuck with you after that. You feel what I'm saying? And that's sort of like the consequence of taking it that far and then trying to switch it up. But if she's willing to continue to see you, you have to switch it up in that way and keep it at that. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I know. Like I said, I called you last time. I was like, I know I made the mistake of thinking, I could reinvent the wheel and thought, okay, maybe I could crack the code and make this work. And you said it, time and time again, it doesn't work. It's either I have to do it where we be together or it's just straight hooking up. And, that was my fault.
That's what I'm saying. So you gotta be careful with that shit because, once you start putting a certain type of energy out there, it's hard for it to go back. Now, it's not impossible, but it's tough. But the way that you do it is you have to have that conversation with her and then slowly, turn turn it into what it needs to be. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And then I have one last question real quick, and I'll jump off, is that also I'm seeing another woman where it's just we met out one time for one drink, and then we've been hooking up the last 2 months, no dates or anything. But we're not sleeping over. There's none of that stuff. It's just been hooking up. But she's been talking about like, well, maybe we could go out and do something, which I don't want to do. You know, I want to keep it at that. So is that where it's just got to be, you know, telling her like, hey, it's just going to stay like this?
Yeah. So how long have you been hooking up with this chick for?
Since February.
Since February. And how often you see her?
It like this one, because of our work schedule, it might be like twice a month.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, just tell her like, hey, look, you know, let's keep it like this what it is, but you got to make sure that you keep it that. You know what I'm saying? So keep at that pace and just make it be that. You feel what I'm saying? Also, sometimes what happens is that, you know, you guys need to, like, whenever you have a fuck buddy situation, right? You need to make it to where, you know, you're sometimes even just squeezing in situations to the point where it can't be anything but that. Because this is the thing. You always want it to not be, you always want it to just be sex, but you also want to have situations where it makes sense for it to just be sex to reiterate the fact that it's just sex. So I'll give you an example. So there was this chick that I used to smash or whatever. And I remember one time she hit me up. I think it was maybe like, let's say she hit me up around like 7 or some shit. And then she was like, oh, what are you up to? Whatever it is like that. And I said, hey, I got to do something at 7:45, but I can come through real quick. And you know what I'm saying? So I got to her place like 7:15, right? Had sex with her for about maybe 10 minutes and then bounced. You see what I'm saying? And so it's just real quick, in and out. And so that reiterates like, this is our relationship. You understand what I'm saying? So it's reinforced through the actions. You see what I'm saying? So you can also do that too. So it's like, right. So it's like keeping it where it needs to be, but also there's times that you can reinforce it with those little situations. Like, for example, like, I remember there's one other girl, she what is she like? I hit her up. She was like, oh, I got my period. So, you know, I can't come over. And I said, well, just come over and, you know, your mouth still worked too. So she came over, gave me head, and then that was it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like, you got to reiterate that shit to the chick through your words and actions. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Because, yeah, we had a situation like that where she was out with friends and then had to be at home at a certain time. Like, well, I could come through real quick. You know, we hooked up, did our thing, and then she had to bounce.
Right.
So had that. So you're saying, I guess, kind of do more of those every now and then. It's like, well, hey, we could do that, but, you know, no time for anything else.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, so you could make that happen too. It's just keeping consistent what it is. That's what's going to make things, you know, make you not have the headache of them coming at you like, what does this mean? And where's this going? You understand? You reduce that type of conversation by reiterating what the situation is through your actions. You see what I'm saying?
Right, definitely. Yeah, like I said, I messed up on that one. I knew it was my fault. On the other one, you know, because it's been a year-long sleepovers and all that stuff. So I screwed the pooch on that.
All right. So yeah, so make sure you just keep it consistent. All right.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna holler at you, man.
All right.
Peace. All right, so we're gonna go 609 and then 502 after that. So 609, what's popping? Who this?
Hey, what's up, Locario? It's Rudy. I donated to Cash App.
What's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? First, I wanted to say, man, I'm a huge Shannon Sharpe fan. Been listening to him for a while. But it sounds to me like Shannon Sharpe would do good by hopping on the Bad Boy membership as well.
I agree. That's a fact. You need that shit badly.
And Locario, it's just amazing how dudes always say looks money status. But look where looks money status will get you. He's in this fucked up situation now. So anyway, Locario, it's funny we talk about the Bad Boy membership, but you just talk about the program, how to predict patterns of behavior or whatever. Right. And I just saw that shit like like 2 days ago, right? And that shit was a fire ass program, by the way. Well done by you. And I'm not gonna disclose what you said in there, right?
Right.
But it's like you talked about like predictive patterns of behavior, right? And Locario, like, I want to get to a point where, you know, my game gets tight and where I can, you know, predict patterns. Because right now, I'm on a level where, you know, I'll be able to hook up with a girl, probably like, you know, a new chick, probably like once a month type shit. You feel me? That's the level where I'm at right now. I'm not at the level where I could consistently get shit popping, you know, every single week, right? But that's the level that I'm trying to get to. You feel me? And right now, I only hooked up with like, you know, 16 girls in my entire life. It was more than that where I got head, but as far as just fucking, I've only fucked like 16 girls in my life. So I don't have a large enough sample size to know what type of girls gravitate me, right? So like, what advice would you give me to the point where I could get to the point where my game is like super tight?
Well, the thing is, again, it's all of it is experience. So the thing is this, the experience is going to give you more information. That information is going to give you more insight. That insight is going to give you a way to set a plan of how to do things further in the future. So this is what I mean by that is that, so for example, like, let's say if you're trying to get more women who want to hook up with you on a consistent basis, right? Then what's going to happen is that you have to look at the women who are already hooking up with you, or who have hooked up with you on a consistent basis in the past or whatever is like that. And then you got to say, okay, what is similar about those women or the situations I was in to get that going? Then once you figure out what's similar about it, then you say, okay, let me redo those type of situations the same way. Right. And then, and also, and what I'm saying is that when I say similar, everything, it's like the type of women, where did I meet them? What did I do before the sex happened? All those things matter. You put all that shit in a pot and you say, oh, okay, I realized that I did A, B, C, and D. So let me do more of A, B, C, and D. Then what's going to happen is when you do more at A, B, and C, and D, and you start to see the same type of results, then you say, okay, this is a pattern that I could replicate and consistently do it on a continuous basis. So for example, let's say you say, okay, I was fucking with these 3 girls and I did A, B, and C to fuck with those 3 girls, right? Now I want to fuck with 6 girls. You just times it by 2. You say, okay, well, I did A, B, and C, so let me do A, B, and C twice or 2 times this to get this same result. Do you see what I'm saying? So for example, if you say I talked to 20 girls, out of these 20 girls, I got, 2, you feel what I'm saying? I got to talk to 40 girls to get 4, right? And I'm just simplifying it. So the thing is that the experience, though, is the key to all of it, right? Because the experience you have is going to be significant and specific to you and you only, right? But you have to go out there and experience so that you can see the patterns. You see what I'm saying? So there's no magic trick to it. It's more so you having to go out there and do what you do and try the things you're trying and then see what are the things that make these things work out specifically in a certain way for me in order to get these things going. You see what I'm saying? So I'll give you an example. So even for example, right? See, the reason why, even when I teach guys to not really talk too much to a woman before a date or before you see them for the first time off a dating app and all these other things, the reason why I teach that is because I realized that there's a pattern that happens a lot of times when you talk to women versus when you don't talk to them to get you a specific result. You see what I'm saying? And so this is why you got to be able to put yourself out there to have those experiences so that you can see those patterns for yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because even a lot of times the stuff that I teach you guys, you're not going to see it until you actually go out there and do it in order for it to be real for you, in order for you to experience the thing I'm talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just like, for example, a person might say, like you talk to a person who's a entrepreneur or a business person, right? Most business people have a similar work ethic to understand the patterns that need to occur to have a successful business or to create a successful product or to create successful situations, right? There's a similar thing. That's why they say game recognizes game, You feel what I'm saying? Because when you have game, you can recognize another person who has game because there's a similar pattern in the thinking. There's a similar pattern in the way that things are going as far as utilizing certain situations and circumstances to get a specific outcome. You see what I'm saying? And it's all connected, but you have to tap into what it is for you. You see what I'm saying?
Nah, I see what you're saying. And when you talk about, not texting girls all day, not, talking to them at all before you meet up with them, I totally believe that because, like you said, because when I was out there in the past and I used to do that shit, a lot of time, it wouldn't lead to nowhere. So that's why a lot of shit that you say, I'm able to believe it because I started watching you when I already had experience dealing with women. So a lot of shit that you said here, or whether it's a Bad Boy membership, I'll look back on my experience and say, oh, so that's why that happened.
Yeah, because look at it this way.
That's why that happened.
Because look at it this way. Think about the pattern. Because even when you talk about patterns, you can look at it in a different context, right? See, the pattern that most guys do is what? They match with a girl on an app or they meet a girl in the street, they get the number, and what do? They talk about nothing, talk, all this shit, right? So the pattern is most guys are going to get their number and talk their ear off and try to get to know them and do all this other stupid shit, right? So now, because most guys are doing that, what is the outcome of that? A lot of flaking, a lot of chicks dating guys where the woman is running the show. A lot of times women are used to those particular situations. And then the pattern is that you have a lot of these guys still having trouble getting women. So when you flip that, the opposite is, right? Let me not talk to the woman. Let me not give her all this attention. Therefore, you differentiate yourself from the other guys, right? And the pattern is that if a guy is different than all the average guys, then he must what? Not be average. He must be different, right? And what is the pattern? The pattern is different guy. The guy who's different is the more attractive guy. The guy who stands out is the more attractive guy. The guy who's doing something different than the other guys is the more attractive guy. You see what I'm saying? And so you gotta understand the patterns are all around. This is why, again, game recognize game. When you have game, you recognize that this thing that's happening is happening because of how things occur. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay, so do you recommend that, Locario, I go through, all my experiences like that I dealt with women and look at what I said, what I did, and like try to like replicate that? Because I heard you say on like live streams where like dudes will call in and you'll ask them how many women they've been with in their life, and you ask them how did they get those women, and you say, why can't you do what you did with that?
Exactly.
So do you recommend I do the same thing that I did with like the previous women that I got with? Because I did because I wouldn't say I did different things, but I said different things to each and every one of those women.
Right. So yeah, so you have to analyze what happened. So it's not about you saying a specific thing. It's you got to look deeper. You got to look behind what was said and behind what you're doing. So it's not about I can say 10 different things in a conversation with a woman, but within the conversation, I'm leading. You understand what I'm saying? So you see what I'm saying? So the pattern is I lead all the conversations and interactions from this point to this point. That's the pattern. It's not necessarily what I'm saying. See, what you're saying is cool, but that's more of a surface level thing because what you're saying is a result of how you're being. You see what I'm saying? So I could say a bunch of different things. I'm still in the state of being that is important for this situation to go from here to here. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like, cause this is the thing. I'll even on a dating app, I'll send the same message to every girl. Like I'll match with her, send copy and paste, right? That doesn't really matter. All I'm looking for is when I send the message, what is she responding to based on what is her response to that message? Her response to that message is going to show me the pattern of, is she actually down to meet up or is she being a waste of time? You see what I'm saying? And so, right, you see what I mean? And, but either way, I'm leading the interaction based on how I'm coming at the situation, right? So all I'm looking for is her response. So it's just like listen to what Rosebud said.
Hi, how you doing? You think I give a fuck about how you doing, bitch? All I want you to motherfucking do is open your mouth and say something so I can hear how your voice sounds so it can tell me how the fuck to get at you.
You see what I'm saying? What was he saying? All I need to hear is how your voice sounds so it tells me how to get at you. Patterns.
Right, because even when you say deal with high interest women, a lot of guys don't understand that, but I do, because usually when I dealt with, uncooperative girls, like when they would show me, like when I would meet a girl, right, and she'll show me a little signs of uncooperativeness, like when she says maybe, or when I deal with an older chick and she says, how old are you? I always notice those type of girls will either flake, will either meet up with me and not want to fuck, or if I do have sex with those uncooperative girls, the sex would not be good at all because they would do minimal effort. You feel me? Right. They'll be the type of bitches that don't even want to give me head and shit. Versus when I deal with the high interest girls, they make it so easy for you. Suddenly you're the funniest man alive. You're the smoothest man alive. And the sex is always great because they put in maximum effort. Where I had girls in the past who had high interest, and I remember I was dealing with this girl, and she said, I just want to please you. I just want to make you happy. And that girl cooperated with me from the jump versus all the other girls who were on some bullshit. They were on some bullshit throughout the whole interaction, because I even got in a relationship with a girl who was uncooperative from the jump. And this was like before I started watching you, right? And even when I was fucking her consistently, right, and we got in a relationship, it was always bullshit. Always. She will always be on some bullshit. We'll be good for like 1 or 2 weeks, and then it'll be back to the bullshit. Good for another week, back to the bullshit. So I definitely see what you're saying.
No, that's a fact. That's what I'm saying. So once you see the patterns, you already know, okay, if she's acting this way now, I already know what that's going to mean later. If she's being cooperative now, okay, I already know what that could mean later. So you already see the shit from the jump, so you don't have this is why pickup artists and all that other shit be fucking up, because what they do is their pattern is, let me fuck with the chick regardless. You understand? It's like, I'm just trying to get pussy, no matter what. So they're not paying attention to patterns. They're trying to figure out more manipulation tactics in order to push through a girl's resistance. But if they understood patterns, then they would have realized, oh, this girl's giving me a shit test. That means that she's not really into me. So why am I wasting my fucking time instead of sitting there for 2 more hours trying to fuck a chick who don't really want to fuck you? You see what I'm saying?
Right. And doing shit like that will lead you into the situation like what Shannon Sharpe is in right now. Because he probably did the same shit. So, Locario, I want to send another 5 to you. Do you mind if I ask another question, or should I call back?
Yeah, call back, because I got somebody else waiting for their call. So call. I'm going to take the next call, but then call back in a second.
Okay. All
right, cool. All right, peace. All right, so let me get 502. 502, what's popping? Who this?
What's going on, Locario? It's Phoenix.
Phoenix in the building.
What's going on? Yeah, I'll just be real quick, man, because on the subject, man, I was wondering why, like, where they come up with the amount of $50 million that she was suing for.
Shit, I don't even know.
Yeah, and I started looking into it because I'm like, well, how much is he worth? He's only worth $14 million.
Right. Well, I heard that he was supposedly getting some new deal or some shit, maybe. I don't know.
Right. So when I looked into that, he announced that new deal 4 days ago. And then 2 days, she comes out and now she wants to sue him for the rape. So I'm like, so that means that she knew pretty much that money was coming. She knew that deal was being worked out.
Yeah, it could have been, because he probably could have told her and talked to her about this shit. You understand what I'm saying?
Which then points to another thing of him not having the game. He's over discussing his finances and all his money and stuff with the woman. So it's like making her think that she's kind of, she's entitled to some stuff. Right. She's working for this lifestyle. He go ahead and end it, and she's mad. She's like, oh, no, fuck that. Somebody else ain't about to get that $100 million.
Right, exactly. So he probably pillow talking, or she found out, what was going on, and then that's the situation. But again, it's his fault, because his interaction with her was about money. See, this is the thing, guys. If you're fucking with a woman, no matter if she's younger, older, whatever, right? You want a woman to fuck. This is why I did the show the other day about, you're more attractive when you're giving a woman less. You should only be giving the woman dick. You understand what I'm saying? Like, all Shannon Sharpe had to do was tell the chick, hey, come over, suck my dick, let's fuck. And either she gonna say yes or no, and then that be it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He shouldn't have gave her a dime. You understand what I'm saying? And on top of that, see, this is the thing. A dude in his position, he should have gave her a dime, and he should have covered his ass. So meaning, if I'm him, a chick coming over, I'm getting her on fucking, I'm taking out my phone. I'm be like, listen, I'm gonna need you to say, I consent to having sex with Shannon Sharpe on April 23rd, 2000, whatever, right? And then
sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Sign a non-disclosure agreement, and I would record the audio of the entire interaction. You understand what I'm saying? And that'd be it. You feel what I mean? So it's like, bro, like this dude up there sending a bunch of text messages back and forth, talking about money with the chick, doing all this role playing. And that's another thing. Guys, understand this. When you first fuck with a woman, don't do all this role playing shit. Don't do all this extra shit. Guys, the same way where a woman has to earn getting your commitment and consistency and all this other stuff, you as a man, you have to be able to earn doing those other things in a relationship with a woman. So I hear this all the time, and guys be like, but Locario, I like to hang out with a girl and just cuddle and chill and, go to the movies and talk about my day and all this other shit. Nigga, you have to earn that. The same way where she has to earn it, you have to earn it. So when you're vetting a woman, you're also vetting yourself. You're also teaching yourself delayed gratification for those other things non-sexually that you want. Because the thing is that a lot of guys, for example, a lot of guys will fuck a chick raw, right? Fucking a chick raw, you need to earn that. That should be your actual woman, a woman that you trust, that you've been with for a long, extended period of time. Then you go raw. You don't go raw on a random chick you just met. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, man, that's the game right there.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
But then also, another thing that I also wanted to, I kind of caught when he was addressing everybody. Mm-hmm. He was addressing like his family and his friends and all that stuff. And I was like, man, this dude's really out here giving a fuck what other people think about him.
Right.
That he's still trying to like satisfy other people, which then leads him to that situation. Like you said, he couldn't tell her no or tell her things to do or whatever. He's going to her place. Obviously, she recorded with her phone and her device.
Right.
So it's like he didn't even get no money off the tape because, she's the OnlyFans, so she's going to get the money off that. She didn't get no money off the tapes, and then he had to pay $50 million for his own tape.
Right, exactly. And this is the stupid part. This is the stupid part. See, him doing all this fucking role play shit or whatever, because they had the recordings of him saying shit like, he was like, he was like, I'm gonna choke you or something, and I'm gonna do all this other crazy shit. And the way it sounded like, it sounded crazy, but if they were role playing, that could have just been the role play. Again, the problem is you should not be role playing or doing anything extra with new women. When you're with new women, it should be vanilla, regular shit. A woman has to earn extra shit. I don't listen, because dudes have fetishes and all this other stuff. Save your fetishes for motherfuckers you vetted. Save all your freaky weird shit for motherfuckers you vetted. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you're doing some weird, some choking, let me slap you, spit in your face type of shit with women, if you don't know this woman you don't know her that well, then what happens is that she could feel like you took it too far. And then if she feels like you took it too far, now she's gonna interpret that as, oh, he assaulted me. He did. You see what I'm saying? And that's because you're doing that type of activity with a woman you don't fucking know like that. You see what I'm saying? That shit crazy.
Yeah, Cameron did a little bit of breakdown on it. He made a point that I liked. He said that he thinks that Shannon and them don't want to release the whole tape because it's probably, being that he signed to Disney and stuff, it's probably some racial stuff on there where he's like, yeah, white bitch.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And that's the shit that you can't show that wild stuff that he was actually saying to her.
Yeah, because in one of the audios, he said some shit like, he was talking to her on the phone and he was like, yeah, how's that gonna look? Black guy, chokes out white chick or something. He was saying some type of racial shit. So he's probably into the race play shit. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Yep. And you know Mickey Mouse ain't gonna want to see that. They trying to woke all the movies and shit. You know Mickey Mouse ain't gonna want to see that shit.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I'm telling you, this is why game is important because, and see, it's not about. See, this is the thing. With Shannon Sharpe situation, there could actually have been nothing like crazy that happened. This could all been role play shit. It could just been how they was talking. But it's not about that. It's about how shit looks. So the fact that she don't really like him and she's bringing up this stuff. It's not about if he actually did anything wrong. It's about how it looks, because how it looks is the reason why he's gonna have to pay. You understand what I'm saying?
And you gotta think it, and him being as big as he is, just even the visuals when you line them up. Her being a little white chick and him being this big black dude, 30 years older than her, and her using the word, the key, the trigger word, manipulation.
Right.
Because it seemed like she was walking him into that. When she don't manipulate me, I was like, who says that?
Right.
it was like she knew what she was about to go for, and she got it.
I'm telling you, somebody, and this is the thing, somebody could have been up in her ear telling her all of this shit, go over his house or get him to come to your house, make sure you record this, and then we're going to do this later and blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? Nonsense.
Yeah, but been a motherfucker with game. He was probably on the Bad Boy membership. It's like,
I'm telling you, this is why dudes got it.
We're going to get the money out this motherfucker. This is what you about to say to him.
That's crazy. But hey, listen, man, this is what happens when dudes ain't got game. You feel me?
Yep.
All right.
But all right, man, I'm going to jump on back on off. I'll holler at you later.
All right, brother. Appreciate the call, man. All right, so I think this is Rudy back on the line. So we're going to take your call and we're going to answer the question. We're going to wrap it up. So what's going on, fam?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I just donated another $5 to.
All right. Oh, damn. I got 832 calling back. All right. So what's going on, Rudy? What's popping with you?
Yeah. Like my second question that I have is right. Locario, you always say, I think you say fuck with bitches who you think is fuckable, right? And like, cause my thing is like, as I was like going through my sexual experiences, right, I always realized like the most ones that I enjoyed the most, like the type of girls that I always enjoyed fucking the most was skinny chicks, right? Because for some reason, like every time I fuck skinny chicks, like I always enjoy the fuck out that shit. And when I fuck thick girls, it'd be cool, but I don't really enjoy it as much as I do fucking skinny chicks, right? So my question would be, right, if you only approach girls who your exact type is, right, like with me with skinny girls, right, you think you will still have a like successful, like, dating life if you like limit the type of women that you approach and stuff? Like, I just wanted to get your take on that.
Yeah, you definitely still have a successful dating life because there's still lots of skinny chicks around. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So if that's what you're focusing on, yeah, you still have a successful dating life. The thing though is that the how do I say it? The smaller the group of women that you're going after, right, is the tighter your game has to be because the smaller the group of women you're going after. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that, just like you say, you play the numbers game. What happens is that you're playing the numbers game, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult if your game is not that tight. You understand? Because now what happens is that you're going to have to find a woman that you're attracted to that's also attracted to you, but now she also has to be skinny. It's just like when somebody says, I'm only dating, like a person might say, I only want to date someone who's Christian. Okay, you could do that, but that's going to make it a little bit more difficult because you have to not only like this person, but they also have to be Christian. You see what I'm saying? So what you're doing is that you're sort of shrinking the amount of people that you're going to have access to. So if you shrink the amount of people, then the tighter your game has to be. You understand what I'm saying? You see what I mean?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, and because I'm being honest, my game definitely ain't that tight enough for me to do that. So I think what I'll do for the time being is continue play the numbers game, continue to watch the Bad Boy membership, and when I get to the point,
you can still holler at skinny chicks. What I'm saying though is that, but also too, you got to understand like this, right? So it's funny. What you like is sort of like the opposite of what I like. Like I like thicker women. You understand? Like with more curves and more ass and thicker thighs and all that other shit, right? But I would still smash a skinny chick. A skinny chick may not be my top choice, but I still fuck a skinny chick. So therefore, if I'm in a situation where, let's say I'm trying to hook up with girls, because I'm still willing to smash a chick who's not my ideal type, that widens my pool of chicks I can fuck with. Now, if I'm looking at something like, let's say, serious, I probably would never be in a serious relationship with a skinny chick. You know what I'm saying? Because that doesn't really,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But as far as like just fucking though, it's a lot more options in that category. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Then I'm gonna look at it like that. The only woman I'll probably take serious is probably skinny chick, and I'm gonna continue working to the point where when my game gets tighter, my mouthpiece gets tighter. Then I'll probably only focus on, and let's say I get a deeper roster of women, then I'll probably only focus on what I would like. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep getting more practice and to keep getting better, and to probably use the thick chicks as a way to just improve my conversation skills, whatever.
All right, that's what's up.
Well, all right, thanks for that insight, brother. Man. I just wanted your insight on that.
All right, man. Appreciate it. All right, so now last call for real. 832. What's popping?
Chilling, man. This is Jay. I don't know if nobody took the 5, but I sent another 5, man. But I got one more thing to ask you, Locario, man. With the game of life, you have to play offense and defense and shit. Sometimes you got to be mindful of shit like that. What's going on? People out here taking advantage of shit like that. Would you say the people who feel like ignorance is bliss? Would you say those are the people that are like those type of people? They are too shocked at all the responsibility that life comes at them, and they got to be so aware that they're like, you know what, man? I wish life was how it was when I was in high school or middle school, and I didn't have to think so much. I didn't have to like plan so much, man. And things was just one way. But since they got their eyes open to how treacherous things can be, do you feel like that's the reason why they say ignorance is bliss? Because now that I know too much, now that I've seen too much, man, I'm a little afraid.
Yeah.
What's the thoughts on that shit?
Yeah, well, yeah. Sometimes what happens is that, see, when you're ignorant, then you still have I'll say this: when you're ignorant, you're unaware. And so when you're unaware, you're going through life, but you are experiencing life as things are happening to me, and I'm just like, in the middle of all these things, right? And then so because you have that thought, you don't really take responsibility because you're like, well, I don't have any control of me in my life. But when you start to learn certain things, the more you learn, the more you become aware. And the more you become aware, the more you understand how much you can impact how you do things, how things occur in your life. And you start taking more responsibility for yourself if, you're actually being real. So a lot of times people, they like the ignorance because the ignorance gives them an excuse. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. As soon as you know something, then if you continue to act as if you're ignorant, then you know that you're full of shit. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're ignorant, you don't know you're full of shit. When you have knowledge and you have awareness, then you know you're full of shit. But so there's a lot of people who know they're full of shit and they just try to ignore it or have cognitive dissonance when it comes to certain things. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times people don't like to hear the reality of things, because once you hear real shit, it's hard for you to go back to the fake shit. You see what I'm saying? And if you do go back to the fake shit, then that's just you willfully being, trying to be ignorant just because you don't want to have to deal with the reality of the situation. You see what I'm saying?
No doubt. Yeah. So, I'm about to jump out of here. So if a guy is trying to flaunt his money and do all this weird shit, he better have the game, because if you don't understand why these women are approaching him, why these women are being nice to him, then he gonna be goofy as fuck, thinking like, oh man, shit, getting my PhD and going to the spot, popping bottles. Hey man, this is the life, because this is how I get them. But not knowing that the reason why they even giving you the time of the day is because they look at you like you are a target. And even just in life, not even just women, but if you are doing certain things, I think it is best to have a certain type of strategy about it. Because if you are going out here not aware, not really thinking, not understanding, damn, why are people so nice to me over here? Why are people willing to, give me an umbrella. Like, damn, it wasn't like that back in my city, but over here, they are really, really super nice. But anyway, you make a great point with that ignorance is bliss, though. So I appreciate it, man. Keep doing your thing, Locario.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. Appreciate the call, fam. All right. Some killer phone lines real quick, and then we're going to get to these questions, and then we're going to be out of here. Like I said, why do you guys always blame men for women's bad behavior? Just because a man fails to see red flags doesn't mean the woman is justified in doing bad things to him. Why do you simp? Okay, so let me explain this to Steve DeLine, even though Steve DeLine is always saying goofy ass shit, right? Understand that when you're dealing with women, or just in general, when people are dealing with people, remember, it's not a person's responsibility to make sure that you're good, right? So if a woman is displaying bad behavior and you don't see the red flags and you get caught up because of those red flags and that bad behavior, that's your fault, because her quote unquote bad behavior could benefit her. Just like in the situation with Shannon Sharpe, her quote unquote bad behavior is benefiting her, but it's up to him to see the bad behavior so that, or up to him to be aware so that this doesn't occur in the first place. You see what I'm saying? So why do you guys like to downplay men? See, these motherfuckers. Listen, I think y'all need to go to the red pill, man. The red pill will coddle you. They'll make you think everything is cool, and they'll blame everything on the women, even though men are supposed to lead. So, you guys got to go to the red pill. So forget how you worded it previously, but the Manosphere fools like the younger chicks because they couldn't pull them back then, and now they can. Well, yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, is that a lot of these guys, when they were, 18, 19, 20, 21, they couldn't get the girls that they liked. Now that they got older and they got some money and these women are looking at them as sugar daddies and tricks and all this other stuff, they'll fuck with these girls, but the girls are not really with them because they like them. They're with them because they have money or status or some other stupid shit. You see what I'm saying? Which is dangerous, because what happens is that once a woman because this is the thing, guys, you got to understand this, right? If a woman doesn't like you and she's with you because of money or status or clout and all this other stuff, right? If she feels she's not being compensated enough, then she will turn on you, right? And create situations that are not going to be in your favor. So if you're leading with your wallet, you're giving this girl money, and then all of a sudden the money stops, or you're not giving her more money that she feels she deserves, or you're giving her less money than you were giving her, then she's going to start acting out, having an attitude with you. And then, if you're lucky, all she'll do is fucking, give you a hard time on some drama shit and walk away. But if you're not lucky, shit like this could happen, where the shit with Shannon Sharpe happened. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be careful with this shit. Do you think the OF was being predatory for setting up Shannon Sharpe? Well, the thing is, yeah, it seems like she was setting up the whole entire thing. But again, a woman can't set up anything if you're leading. You see what I'm saying? If you're leading, she can't set shit up. You said, if you're a rich celebrity like Shannon Sharpe, how can you vet a woman so that she's feeling you without the need for your power and money? Don't give her anything. You understand what I'm saying? Don't give her a dime. You understand? Don't give her a dime. Matter of fact, tell her to take you out to eat, and have her spend her money. You understand what I'm saying? And also, what I would do if I'm one of these like celebrity motherfuckers, like these well-known, super rich out there type of dudes, right? One, the thing is that these guys have to, be realistic. And what I mean by that is that most guys are not realistic in the sense of, let's just think about the Shannon Sharpe shit for a second. If Shannon Sharpe was not getting those type of girls who look that way, right? Because he's like, oh, she looks this way. I want a young girl who looks this way. If he was not getting those girls who look that way off the strength of him being him, not Shannon Sharpe, the celebrity, but just him being the person who he is without giving a woman nothing, then he should not be fucking with those type of women unless he learns how to attract those women without having to give them anything. You see what I'm saying? Because if you have to give her something to get something from her, if you have to give her money to get something, then that means that that woman don't want to be there. You see what I'm saying? He's also Locario in conjunction with the whole manosphere ideology BS. Don't these fools see younger chicks with less body count and the ability to pair bond? They spew that rhetoric like crazy. Yeah, that's the thing. They, again, a lot of these guys, remember, a lot of these guys don't have game. A lot of these guys used to be nerds. A lot of these guys don't know how to deal with women. So, these chicks finesse them. Says, if I tell a woman to send me 5 photos of herself and she sends me 8, am I being too harsh for dismissing her immediately? All right. So, guys, understand this, right? If a woman is doing more than what you asked for, it's not really a bad thing. It's only bad when she's doing less. So if you told her, send me 5 photos and she sends you 3, then that's an issue. But if she sends you 8, that's not really an issue. Not really that much of an issue, because all her sending 8 means that she wants to show off more of herself because she wants you to be interested in her more. So she's going above and beyond what you even told her. Now, you can teach the woman to give you exactly what you're asking, but in this scenario, she's giving you more than you asked. If she gave you less than you asked, then that's an issue. You see what I'm saying? It's just like if I tell a chick, hey, call me, let's say today's Wednesday. I say to a chick, I give her my number. I say, call me Friday at 8:00 or whatever, and we'll set up a date or whatever. Like it's, you understand? And let's say she calls me Thursday morning and she's like, hey, what's up? Good morning, blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I told this bitch to call me Friday. She called me Thursday. Oh, she's called me Thursday because she been thinking about me all night. You understand what I'm saying? So what happens is that she's doing more than what I asked for because she's interested. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand that. You said, do you think women are less receptive to approaches in the mall? Because I noticed I get rejected in the mall more often compared to places where I'm getting numbers. No, the place doesn't matter. You understand what I'm saying? If she's into you, she's going to talk. If she's not, she's going to walk. I remember the PUA Marcus said he would do all the extra shit in bed, but you see where it got shit. It's so funny. I'm telling you, listen, man. That's why niggas gotta have this game. Does someone have to ask a young woman's age these days? Some chicks may, I guess, the early 20s, but look like a teenager. Is this something you guys need to do to avoid going to prison? Absolutely. First of all, see, this is why, well, me personally, I don't really be dating, or fucking with 19-year-olds and all that other shit. But if a guy wants to deal with women who are younger, you better make sure that chick is above age. You understand? Go holler at her dad or some shit. Make sure you get that birth certificate and check on that shit. Isn't it only dangerous if you don't realize it's because of money? Men like Shannon get screwed because it's not explicitly transactional. No, it's dangerous if it is about money. This is why we talk. Listen, again, a dude could trick if he wants. He's a grown-ass man. Any guy can trick if they want. They're grown-ass men. What I'm saying is, see, tricking is dangerous, right? especially in this type of situation. See, it's one thing if, let's say, for example, you go to like Nevada or you go to some place overseas, you pay some hoe, you have sex, and you keep it moving. Right? That's one thing. But if you're tricking as far as you're dating a chick and your entire relationship is dependent on you giving her money, she's giving you sex, she's only fucking with you because of the money, shit like that, that's dangerous because that woman doesn't like or respect you. And like I said, when a woman doesn't like or respect you, she doesn't care about what happens to you. You understand? She doesn't care. And so because she doesn't care, then she'll just basically do whatever the fuck. You see, that's what I mean. Date tricking is dangerous. The other kind is less risky. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if a dude is actually, having a tricking situation with a woman, right? That's not good. Now, I wouldn't be, out here just tricking and just randomly giving chicks money and all that other shit. But, if you're out here like really having these relationships where it's this transactional, I'm paying you money and you're fucking me, and that's how we get down, be careful. How do you recover from approaching a woman that walk away from you in public in front of people? You said, how do you recover? Recover? Johnny, what do you mean recover? You're obviously not dead. You're still alive. What do you need to recover from? You understand? All of that stupid shit is in here. There's nothing you need to recover from. Move on, talk to another woman. That's it. But guys, that's pretty much it, man. I'm about to wrap this shit up. Make sure you guys go to badboymembership.com, go to masculineidentitymembership.com, go to shoplocario.com, and also go to masculineidentity.com. You feel what I'm saying? Make sure you guys go to all those .coms and get it cracking. All right. So that's pretty much it, guys. I will holler at you guys later. And I am out of here. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm going. I'm out. Listen, ask me if I care. I promise I don't care. She told me that she got hurt in the past. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm thinking, what's up with all of that ass? I ain't tricking, bitch, don't ask me about cash. Why these hoes be telling me all they problems? I ain't saving them, ain't my fault they got them. I can't solve them and I could never stop them. All I'm concerned with is hitting the bottom. She got scarred in her life. I don't care about her life. She got scarred in her life. I don't care about her life. This girl's looking for a listening ear. Don't she notice that I really don't care? I'm a man, she should go choose the bear. I'll explain to her that life isn't fair. Why you wanna talk to me about your life? I'm just trying to hit, I don't want a wife. You lie saying you want somebody nice. He has your back, you stab his with a knife. You be wanting your friends to be men. You know you don't care about none of them. Or I should say they don't care about you. They only there cause they hoping to screw. You saying guys only want one thing. You frontin' as if you don't want flings. You want the guy with dough, you want bling. Now you wanna be a queen, you want kings. Why you trying to search for a gentleman? To
Do you think that's how you will get a man? You don't understand, so you won't get a man. I don't want to talk, I am not Letterman.
She got scarred in her life, I don't care about her life. She got scarred in her life, I don't care about her life. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. She's got scarred in her life. I don't care about her life. She got scarred in her life. I don't care about her.